The early morning sun cast a soft, golden glow over the sleek glass facade of Sterling Dynamics, a bustling international company nestled in the heart of Austin, Texas. It was a typical Monday, the kind where the city was just waking up, and the hum of traffic mingled with the chirping of birds. Inside the towering building, the atmosphere was calm but charged with the promise of a new week. Marcus Bell, a middle-aged custodian with a quiet demeanor and a steady presence, was already hard at work. He was the first to arrive and often the last to leave, his routine as reliable as clockwork. Dressed in a simple navy blue uniform, his hands moved with practiced efficiency as he tidied the expansive lobby, polished the gleaming floors, and arranged the sleek modern furniture with care. Despite his unassuming role, Marcus carried an air of mystery. He rarely spoke to anyone beyond a polite nod or a brief greeting. His eyes, however, held a depth that suggested a life rich with stories untold. As he moved through the lobby, he greeted visitors in a soft voice, switching effortlessly between languages, German, Russian, and Japanese, his words flowing with a natural ease that caught the attention of a few passers-by. Olivia Carter, the CEO of Sterling Dynamics, was making her way through the lobby, her sharp eyes scanning the space as she prepared for the day ahead. A woman in her early 50s with a commanding presence and a warm smile. Olivia was known for her open leadership style and her global experience. She had spent years working in various countries, learning to navigate different cultures and languages, which made her particularly attuned to the nuances of communication. As Olivia approached the reception area, she paused, her attention drawn to Marcus. She overheard him speaking fluently in Mandarin to a visiting client, then seamlessly switching to Arabic as he assisted another guest. The realization hit her like a bolt of lightning. This quiet custodian was a polyglot, a master of languages she hadn't expected to find in such an unlikely place. Curiosity piqued, Olivia lingered nearby, listening as Marcus effortlessly conversed in Italian with a group of international partners. She watched as his face lit up with genuine warmth and confidence, a stark contrast to the humble role he played within the company. For a moment, Olivia felt a pang of regret. How had she, the CEO, never noticed the remarkable talents of someone who had been part of the company for nearly a decade? The thought stirred a determination within her to learn more about Marcus and to uncover the story behind the man who spoke 8 languages with such fluency. Later that day, Olivia found herself seeking out Marcus during a quiet moment in the break room. With a gentle smile, she introduced herself properly and asked about his linguistic abilities. Marcus, modest and unassuming, shared his story, a former language teacher who had faced personal hardships, including the need to support his family after a sudden loss. His journey had taken him from classrooms to custodial work, but his passion for languages never waned. Olivia listened intently, moved by his humility and resilience. She realized that Marcus's talents were a hidden gem within Sterling Dynamics, a resource that could bridge cultural gaps and enhance the company's international relations. This unexpected discovery marked the beginning of a transformative journey, not just for Marcus but for the entire company. Olivia's decision to embrace and elevate Marcus's unique skills would challenge traditional notions of leadership and talent, setting the stage for a story that would inspire and captivate. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the remarkable story of Marcus Bell, the custodian who spoke 8 languages and the CEO who dared to see beyond the surface. The days following Olivia Carter's surprising discovery of Marcus Bell's linguistic talents were filled with a mix of curiosity, reflection, and cautious optimism. Olivia, a seasoned leader with a heart for people, found herself drawn to Marcus's quiet strength and the untapped potential that lay beneath his humble exterior. One crisp morning, with the Austin sun casting a warm 68 degrees Fahrenheit glow over the city, Olivia invited Marcus to join her in the company's sleek conference room. The walls, adorned with modern art and floor-to-ceiling windows, reflected the vibrant energy of Sterling Dynamics. Marcus arrived in his usual navy blue uniform, his posture modest but dignified, carrying a small leather-bound notebook. "Marcus," Olivia began, her voice gentle yet purposeful, "I've been thinking a lot about what I heard the other day. Your ability to speak 8 languages is extraordinary. I want to understand more about your journey." Marcus nodded, a faint smile touching his lips. "Thank you, Ms. Carter. It's not something I usually talk about. But I suppose it's time." He shared his story with a calm sincerity that captivated Olivia. Born in a small town in Germany, Marcus had been a passionate language teacher, fluent in German, Russian, Japanese, Spanish, Arabic, Italian, Mandarin, and Swahili. Life had taken an unexpected turn when a family tragedy forced him to leave his teaching career behind. With a heavy heart, he moved to the United States, taking on various jobs to support his family, eventually settling into his role as a custodian at Sterling Dynamics. "I never wanted to be invisible," Marcus confessed, his eyes reflecting years of resilience. "But sometimes, life demands sacrifices. I kept my languages alive through books and conversations, hoping one day I could use them again." Olivia listened intently, her respect for Marcus growing with every word. She realized that here was a man whose talents had been overlooked, not because they lacked value, but because of circumstances and assumptions. Determined to harness Marcus's unique skills, Olivia proposed a bold idea. "Marcus, I want to invite you to assist with an upcoming international delegation from the Middle East. Your language skills could bridge gaps and foster connections that are vital for our company's growth." Marcus's eyes widened in surprise. "I would be honored, Ms. Carter." The day of the delegation arrived, and Marcus stood confidently beside Olivia in the polished boardroom. As the guests arrived, Marcus seamlessly switched between Arabic, Mandarin, and Italian, facilitating conversations with ease and grace. His presence brought a new warmth and understanding to the meeting, impressing both the visitors and the company's executives. Olivia watched with pride as Marcus's talents shone, realizing that this was just the beginning of a transformative journey for Sterling Dynamics. The company's culture, once rigid and hierarchical, was beginning to embrace the richness of diversity and the power of recognizing hidden potential. Back in the quiet of her office, Olivia drafted a proposal to create a new role within the company: International Relations Liaison, a position tailored to Marcus's strengths and experiences. She knew this move would challenge traditional norms but believed it was a necessary step toward a more inclusive and dynamic workplace. When she presented the idea to Marcus, he was initially hesitant. "I'm just a custodian," he said softly. "I don't have the degrees or the titles." Olivia smiled warmly. "Marcus, your life experience, dedication, and skills are invaluable. This role isn't about degrees, it's about impact. I want you to lead this initiative." With a newfound sense of purpose, Marcus accepted the offer, ready to step into a role that recognized his true worth. As news of Marcus's new position spread through Sterling Dynamics, reactions were mixed. Some colleagues celebrated the decision, inspired by the company's commitment to diversity and inclusion. Others whispered doubts, questioning the unconventional choice and the disruption of the status quo. Marcus faced these challenges with quiet dignity, focusing on his work and the positive changes he could bring. He became a symbol of hope and possibility, especially for those who felt unseen or undervalued. Together, Olivia and Marcus launched the Hidden Voices program, aimed at identifying and nurturing talent from all levels of the company. The initiative encouraged employees to share their stories and skills, fostering a culture of respect and empowerment. Marcus's journey from custodian to international relations liaison became a beacon of inspiration, reminding everyone that true leadership recognizes and uplifts the hidden strengths within its people. Stay tuned for the next chapter in this remarkable story, where Marcus's impact continues to grow, and Sterling Dynamics embraces a future built on inclusion, respect, and the celebration of every voice. A sharp autumn wind rattled the glass doors of Sterling Dynamics as Marcus Bell made his way through the lobby, his footsteps echoing on the polished marble. The city outside was waking up to a brisk 54 degrees Fahrenheit morning, but inside the headquarters, something else was stirring, a ripple of curiosity, skepticism, and in some corners, outright disbelief. Word had spread like wildfire. The janitor, the quiet, unassuming man who'd mopped these floors for nearly a decade, had just been named International Relations Liaison. Some called it inspiring. Others called it a publicity stunt. Everyone was talking. Marcus felt the eyes on him as he passed the front desk, where a group of employees whispered behind their coffee cups. He kept his head high, shoulders squared, but inside, his nerves buzzed. He'd never worn a suit to work before, but today, in a crisp navy jacket and polished shoes, he looked every bit the part. The ID badge at his chest still read custodian, but Olivia Carter had promised a new one was coming. He took the elevator to the 12th floor, where the executive offices were bathed in morning light. The space felt different now, less distant, less exclusive. Olivia was waiting for him in her glass-walled office, her smile warm and genuine. "Ready for your first big day?" she asked. Marcus nodded, though his palms were sweating. "I think so. I just want to do a good job." "You will," Olivia said, her voice steady. "You've already changed more than you know." His first assignment was to join a video conference with partners in Berlin. As the meeting began, Marcus slipped seamlessly into German, translating technical questions and smoothing over a tense moment with a joke that had the whole room laughing. When the call ended, the Berlin team sent an email. "Who is Mr. Bell? He's brilliant." But not everyone was so quick to celebrate. At lunch, Marcus sat in the cafeteria with a tray of chicken and rice, feeling the weight of stares. A few colleagues approached, some to congratulate, others to challenge. "So, what's it like going from mops to meetings?" one asked, half joking, half serious. Marcus smiled politely. "It's still about solving problems and helping people. Just a different set of tools." Later that week, the company's board of directors called Marcus in for a meeting. The boardroom was intimidating, a long table, leather chairs, and a view stretching for miles over the Austin skyline. The chairman, Mr. Franklin, leaned forward, fingers steepled. "Marcus, your story is remarkable. But some are concerned. You don't have a college degree. You don't have management experience. Why should you be in this role?" Marcus met his gaze without flinching. "I understand your concerns. I may not have the degrees, but I have experience, real-world experience. I've lived in 5 countries, worked with people from every background, and solved problems in real time. I know what it's like to be overlooked. I know how to listen. And I know how to build trust." The room was silent for a moment. Then Olivia spoke up. "We can teach skills. We can't teach heart." The board eventually approved Marcus's appointment, but the scrutiny didn't stop. Some employees grumbled that the company was just trying to look woke. Others complained that their own hard work had been ignored. But something else was happening, too, something quieter, but far more powerful. People started coming to Marcus with their own stories. A security guard revealed he spoke fluent Portuguese but had never been asked to use it. An accountant shared that she'd grown up translating for her immigrant parents and missed using her Spanish at work. Marcus listened to them all, encouraging them to bring their full selves to the job. With Olivia's support, Marcus launched the Hidden Voices initiative, a program to identify and nurture talent from every corner of Sterling Dynamics. Workshops popped up, language exchanges at lunch, mentorship pairings between entry-level staff and executives. Even a monthly, open mic, where employees could share their stories, skills, and dreams. The culture began to shift. People who'd felt invisible started to step forward. Teams became more collaborative, more creative. Productivity ticked up, but more importantly, so did morale. One afternoon, Marcus found Emily, a young receptionist, practicing Mandarin in the break room. "I heard what you did," she said shyly. "I'm not as good as you, but would you help me get better?" Marcus grinned. "Absolutely. Let's practice together." The highlight of Marcus's first month came when Sterling Dynamics hosted a major international summit. Delegates from 6 countries arrived, each greeted in their native language by Marcus. He navigated cultural nuances, smoothed over misunderstandings, and even arranged a last-minute vegan meal for a guest from Tel Aviv, all without breaking a sweat. After the summit, Olivia called Marcus into her office. "You've done more than bridge languages," she said. "You've bridged people. You've made this company stronger." Marcus felt a surge of pride, but also humility. He knew there was still resistance, still doubters. But he also saw the seeds of change. As the fall sun set over Austin, Marcus walked the halls of Sterling Dynamics. No longer just a man with the mop, but a leader in every sense. He paused by the janitor's closet, where his old uniform still hung. He smiled, knowing he'd never forget where he started. The story was far from over. But for the first time, Marcus felt like he truly belonged. Stay tuned. The most powerful voices are often the ones we almost never hear, until someone finally listens. The day had finally arrived. The air outside Sterling Dynamics was crisp, hovering around 55 degrees Fahrenheit, but inside the headquarters, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Marcus Bell. The usual hum of office chatter had quieted to a tense silence as everyone waited to hear what the CEO, Olivia Carter, had to say. Olivia stepped forward, her presence commanding yet warm. "Thank you all for coming in early today," she began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "We have an important announcement that reflects the values we hold dear at Sterling Dynamics." Eyes darted nervously around the room. Marcus felt the weight of their gazes, some filled with curiosity, others with skepticism. Mason, the senior manager, exchanged a wary glance with Linda, the HR director, both known for their traditional views. Alex and Emily, employees who had quietly supported Marcus, sat together, their expressions hopeful yet anxious. Olivia continued, "Many of you have heard about Marcus Bell's incredible journey, from custodian to our new international relations liaison. Today, we want to celebrate not just his achievements but the spirit of inclusion and recognition that defines our company." A ripple of applause spread through the room, though a few faces remained stoic. Marcus took a deep breath, feeling a mix of pride and humility. He stepped forward, his voice calm but resolute. "I'm honored to stand here today. My journey hasn't been easy, but it's proof that talent and dedication can come from the most unexpected places." He shared stories of his past, teaching languages in small classrooms, the hardships of supporting his family after personal loss, and the quiet determination that kept him going. His words resonated deeply, painting a picture of resilience and hope. Olivia then unveiled the Hidden Voices program, a new initiative designed to identify and nurture hidden talents within the company. "We believe every voice matters," she said. "This program will provide training, mentorship, and opportunities for growth to employees at all levels." The announcement sparked a wave of excitement. Employees began sharing their own stories, realizing that their unique skills and experiences could be valued and developed. Marcus became a mentor, guiding others to find their strengths and build confidence. However, not everyone was pleased. Some senior staff whispered doubts, questioning the practicality of such a program. Mason voiced concerns about disrupting the established hierarchy, while Linda worried about the program's impact on productivity. Marcus faced these challenges head-on. In meetings and casual conversations, he emphasized the importance of empathy, diversity, and the untapped potential within every individual. His calm demeanor and genuine passion gradually won over many skeptics. One afternoon, during a company-wide workshop, Marcus shared his philosophy. "Leadership isn't about titles or degrees. It's about listening, understanding, and empowering others. When we embrace our differences, we become stronger together. The workshop was a turning point. Employees left inspired, ready to support the Hidden Voices initiative and contribute to a more inclusive culture. Meanwhile, Olivia worked tirelessly behind the scenes, securing resources and rallying executive support. She knew that true change required commitment from the top down. As weeks passed, the impact of the program became evident. Productivity improved, employee satisfaction rose, and Sterling Dynamics began to attract diverse talent eager to be part of a company that valued them. Marcus's role expanded beyond language liaison. He became a symbol of possibility, a living testament to the power of recognizing and nurturing hidden talents. One evening, as the sun set over Austin, Marcus stood on the rooftop terrace, looking out at the city lights. He reflected on his journey, from the quiet custodian who once swept floors to a leader inspiring change. He smiled, knowing that his story was just one of many waiting to be told. And with Olivia's support, Sterling Dynamics was ready to listen. The first rays of sunlight crept across the skyline of Austin, painting the glass towers of Sterling Dynamics in gold. Inside, the company's main conference hall was buzzing with anticipation. Today wasn't just another quarterly meeting. It was the day Marcus Bell, once the quietest man in the building, would take the stage as keynote speaker at the company's first Hidden Voices Summit. Rows of chairs filled the room. Employees from every department, engineers, sales reps, janitors, and senior managers mingling together. The air conditioning hummed at a steady 70 degrees Fahrenheit, but the energy in the room was electric. Olivia Carter, the CEO, stood near the back, her eyes shining with pride as she watched Marcus adjust the microphone at the podium. The lights dimmed. A hush fell. Marcus, now in a tailored charcoal suit, looked out over the crowd. He took a breath, steadying himself. "Good morning, everyone," he began, his voice calm but resonant. "If you told me a year ago I'd be standing here, I would have laughed. I was the guy you barely noticed, the one pushing the mop. The one who spoke 8 languages but never had a reason to use them here." A ripple of laughter and surprise moved through the crowd. Marcus continued, "But today, I want to talk about something bigger than my story. I want to talk about what happens when we see each other, really see each other. When we listen, when we ask questions. When we open doors that were always there but never unlocked." He shared stories of his journey, learning languages in cramped apartments, teaching his son Spanish as they walked the 2 miles to school, reading Italian poetry to his late wife in the kitchen. He spoke of the pain of feeling invisible, but also the hope that someone would one day notice. As Marcus spoke, the audience leaned in, faces rapt, some teary-eyed. He didn't just talk about himself. He called out the security guard who spoke Portuguese, the accountant who translated for her parents, the cafeteria worker who'd taught herself coding at night. "Talent doesn't wear a uniform," Marcus said, his words ringing through the hall. "Potential isn't printed on a badge." He paused, letting the moment settle. "I kept my old custodian badge," he admitted, holding it up. "Not as a reminder of where I started, but as a promise to never overlook someone else's story." The applause was thunderous. Olivia stepped up, embracing Marcus, her voice thick with emotion. "This is what leadership looks like," she said. "This is what Sterling Dynamics stands for." The summit continued with panels and workshops, all focused on unlocking hidden talents. Employees shared their skills, swapped stories, and signed up for new mentorship programs. The Hidden Voices initiative took off, with language clubs, cross-department projects, and a new open-door policy for sharing ideas. But not everyone was immediately on board. Some senior staff still grumbled about lowering standards, or distracting from real work. Marcus didn't shy away from these conversations. He met with skeptics in small groups, listening to their concerns, sharing data that showed increased productivity and morale. He invited them to mentor new talent, to see firsthand the value of investing in people. Slowly, the resistance faded. A year after Marcus's promotion, Sterling Dynamics had the highest employee satisfaction ratings in its history. Turnover dropped by 30%. The company won a national award for workplace diversity. More importantly, people felt seen. They felt heard. Marcus's influence stretched far beyond the office. He was invited to speak at local schools, community centers, even a national leadership conference in Chicago, 1,000 miles away, where he delivered his message in 3 languages. His story was featured in business magazines and podcasts, inspiring companies across the country to rethink how they looked at talent. At home, Marcus's son, now a high school senior, beamed with pride. "You showed them, Dad," he said one evening as they walked their usual 2 miles together. "You showed everyone." The culture at Sterling Dynamics was forever changed. Olivia and Marcus continued to champion the Hidden Voices program, launching an annual scholarship for employees' families, and creating a new tradition. Every year, the company's most impactful story, no matter the role, would be shared at the summit. On the anniversary of his first day as International Relations Liaison, Marcus stood once more in the conference hall. The room was packed, the walls lined with photos of employees from every walk of life. He looked out, heart full, and said, "We're more than a company. We're a community. And in this community, every voice matters." As the applause echoed, Marcus slipped his old custodian badge into his pocket, a quiet symbol of how far he, and Sterling Dynamics, had come. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary stories are hidden in plain sight. And all it takes is one person to listen, to believe, and to open the door for everyone else. Stay tuned. The next hidden voice could be sitting right beside you. The office buzzed with a new energy as Marcus Bell settled into his role as a leader and mentor within Sterling Dynamics. The once quiet custodian had become a beacon of inspiration, not just for his linguistic talents, but for his unwavering commitment to uplifting those around him. Each morning, sunlight streamed through the expansive windows of the Austin headquarters, casting a warm glow over the polished floors and modern workspaces. Marcus, now dressed in a tailored navy blazer and crisp shirt, moved through the halls with a quiet confidence. His presence was no longer overlooked. Instead, it commanded respect and curiosity. Olivia Carter, the CEO, watched with pride as Marcus engaged with employees from all departments. She had seen firsthand the transformative power of recognizing hidden talents, and was determined to nurture this culture of inclusion. Together, they launched the Hidden Voices initiative, a program designed to identify and develop skills from every corner of the company. The program quickly gained momentum. Workshops on language skills, cultural awareness, and leadership were held regularly, drawing employees eager to learn and grow. Marcus took a hands-on approach, personally mentoring staff who had previously felt invisible. His story resonated deeply, reminding everyone that potential often lies beneath the surface. One afternoon, Marcus found himself in a lively discussion with a group of young employees in the break room. They shared their dreams and challenges, inspired by Marcus's journey. He encouraged them to embrace their unique backgrounds and to never underestimate the value of their experiences. Meanwhile, Olivia worked tirelessly behind the scenes, securing resources and rallying executive support. She knew that true change required commitment from the top down. The company began to see tangible results, increased employee satisfaction, improved collaboration, and a renewed sense of purpose. However, the path was not without obstacles. Some senior staff remained skeptical, clinging to traditional hierarchies and questioning the emphasis on diversity and inclusion. Marcus faced these challenges with grace, engaging in open dialogues and demonstrating through action the benefits of a more inclusive workplace. His role expanded beyond language liaison. He became a symbol of possibility and change. Invitations to speak at conferences and community events poured in, where Marcus shared his message of empowerment and the importance of seeing beyond titles and appearances. At home, Marcus's family celebrated his achievements with heartfelt joy. His son, now a confident young man, often accompanied him to events, proud of his father's impact. Their daily walks through the Austin neighborhoods became moments of reflection and hope. The Hidden Voices program evolved into a cornerstone of Sterling Dynamics culture. New initiatives, such as mentorship pairings and storytelling sessions, fostered a sense of belonging and mutual respect. Employees who once felt marginalized now stepped into leadership roles, their talents recognized and celebrated. One memorable evening, during the company's annual gala, Marcus was honored with the Leadership Through Inclusion award. As he accepted the accolade, he spoke passionately about the journey from invisibility to empowerment, urging everyone to look beyond the surface and to value every voice. The story of Marcus Bell became a catalyst for change not only within Sterling Dynamics but also across the broader business community. Media outlets featured his journey, inspiring other companies to reevaluate their own cultures and practices. As the sun set over Austin, casting a golden hue over the city, Marcus stood on the rooftop terrace of the company building. He looked out at the skyline, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. The road ahead was still long, but the foundation was strong. He reached into his pocket and touched the old custodian badge he kept as a reminder of where he started. It was more than a symbol, it was a testament to resilience, humility, and the power of opportunity. Marcus knew that the true legacy of his journey was not just in his own success but in the doors he had opened for others. The voices once hidden were now heard loud and clear, shaping a future where everyone had a seat at the table. And so, the story continued, one of hope, courage, and the unyielding belief that every person, regardless of their role or background, has the power to change the world. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories from Sterling Dynamics, where the extraordinary is found in the everyday. The first rays of sunlight crept across the skyline of Austin, painting the glass towers of Sterling Dynamics in gold. Inside, the company's main conference hall was buzzing with anticipation. Today wasn't just another quarterly meeting, it was the day Marcus Bell, once the quietest man in the building, would take the stage as keynote speaker at the company's first Hidden Voices Summit. Rows of chairs filled the room, employees from every department, engineers, sales reps, janitors, and senior managers mingling together. The air conditioning hummed at a steady 70 degrees Fahrenheit, but the energy in the room was electric. Olivia Carter, the CEO, stood near the back, her eyes shining with pride as she watched Marcus adjust the microphone at the podium. The lights dimmed. A hush fell. Marcus, now in a tailored charcoal suit, looked out over the crowd. He took a breath, steadying himself. "Good morning, everyone," he began, his voice calm but resonant. "If you told me a year ago I'd be standing here, I would have laughed. I was the guy you barely noticed, the one pushing the mop, the one who spoke 8 languages but never had a reason to use them here." A ripple of laughter and surprise moved through the crowd. Marcus continued, "But today, I want to talk about something bigger than my story. I want to talk about what happens when we see each other, really see each other. When we listen. When we ask questions, when we open doors that were always there but never unlocked." He shared stories of his journey, learning languages in cramped apartments, teaching his son Spanish as they walked the 2 miles to school, reading Italian poetry to his late wife in the kitchen. He spoke of the pain of feeling invisible, but also the hope that someone would one day notice. As Marcus spoke, the audience leaned in, faces rapt, some teary-eyed. He didn't just talk about himself, Marcus said, his words ringing through the hall. Potential isn't printed on a badge. He paused, letting the moment settle. "I kept my old custodian badge," he admitted, holding it up. "This is what leadership looks like," she said. "This is what Sterling Dynamics stands for." The summit continued with panels and workshops, all focused on unlocking hidden talents. Employees shared their skills, swapped stories, and signed up for new mentorship programs. The Hidden Voices initiative took off, with language clubs, cross-department projects, and a monthly, open mic, where employees could share their stories, skills, and dreams. But not everyone was immediately on board. Some senior staff still grumbled about lowering standards, or distracting from real work. Marcus didn't shy away from these conversations. He met with skeptics in small groups, listening to their concerns, sharing data that showed increased productivity and morale. He invited them to mentor new talent, to see firsthand the value of investing in people. Slowly, the resistance faded. A year after Marcus's promotion, Sterling Dynamics had the highest employee satisfaction ratings in its history. Turnover dropped by 30%. The company won a national award for workplace diversity. More importantly, people felt seen. They felt heard. Marcus's influence stretched far beyond the office. He was invited to speak at local schools, community centers, even a national leadership conference in Chicago, 1,000 miles away, where he delivered his message in 3 languages. His story was featured in business magazines and podcasts, inspiring companies across the country to rethink how they looked at talent. At home, Marcus's son, now a high school senior, beamed with pride. "You showed them, Dad," he said one evening as they walked their usual 2 miles together. "You showed everyone." The culture at Sterling Dynamics was forever changed. Olivia and Marcus continued to champion the Hidden Voices program, launching an annual scholarship for employees' families and creating a new tradition every year. The company's most impactful story, no matter the role, would be shared at the summit. On the anniversary of his first day as International Relations Liaison, Marcus stood once more in the conference hall. The room was packed, the walls lined with photos of employees from every walk of life. He looked out, heart full, and said, "We're more than a company. We're a community. And in this community, every voice matters." As the applause echoed, Marcus slipped his old custodian badge into his pocket, a quiet symbol of how far he and Sterling Dynamics had come. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary stories are hidden in plain sight. And all it takes is one person to listen, to believe, and to open the door for everyone else. Stay tuned. The next hidden voice could be sitting right beside you.